Hey everybody, it's Charles from HumbleMechanic.com, and today I'm going to show you how to replace your serpentine belt. Replacing a serpentine belt is a very common maintenance item, and often they can be done with very simple hand tools. Today we're going to be using my 2015 Tiguan to do this DIY. I've teamed up with the folks at eBay Motors to bring you guys this step-by-step DIY on replacing a serpentine belt. They've come out with this really cool thing called Virtual Tech that we'll talk about more in a minute. But first, let's talk about the tools that we're going to need for this job. We'll need a 17mm socket, either in 6-point, or I actually like the 12-point socket even better here. A ratchet. The VW repair manual does call for a pin to hold the tensioner. That tool number is T10060 alpha. But in place of that special tool, we're going to be using a 4mm Allen key. Now, instead of a ratchet, you can also use a breaker bar, or what works really well is a serpentine belt tensioning tool. Now, in order to do this DIY for you guys, I did remove a handful of components that are not going to need to be removed in order to do this repair. I removed the catch can and secured it out of the way. I also removed the right front wheel and the wheelhouse liner so that I can give you guys a better view at exactly what we're doing. Now, if you are removing the belt for some other type of repair like an alternator, it's a good idea to mark the direction of travel. Since our engine rotates clockwise, we will put an arrow facing towards the front of the vehicle. If you are removing it to replace it, then there's no need to make this mark. Next, it's important to take note of the belt routing. We only have 4 components on this circuit. Other belts can have quite a bit more. Some vehicles have this routing listed on the cowl. Unfortunately, our vehicle doesn't. So we have a couple of options. The one I really like is to grab your phone and snap a picture of the belt routing. We can also make a drawing of the belt routing that we'll be able to reference when we're going back together with it. Next, it's going to be time to take tension off our belt. This is our serpentine belt tensioner right here. We're going to be putting our ratchet right on this bolt, and here's where we're going to be putting our lock pin in. I actually like to take the lock pin and put it in first, and then once we get it detensioned, all we have to do is simply push it the rest of the way in. This is a little bit longer than the VW special tool, but it will work just fine. Next, we'll take our ratchet or our serpentine belt tool, put it on that bolt, and push it towards the front of the vehicle. Push your lock pin all the way in, and then slowly release your ratchet and remove it from the tensioner. Now you can see our belt is totally loose, and we can actually just slip it right off. Now when we're working on the bottom side, you can see your crank pulley here, the air compressor, and then our tensioner is right up at the top. You'll notice that it's partially blocked by the boost hose right here. Doing this job will be easier if you remove these 2 captive bolts and pull this away. That'll allow you to get the belt off a little bit easier, but you really don't have to. There is enough room to sneak the belt through. The rest of the removal of the belt is incredibly straightforward. In fact, all we really need to do is remove it off of our pulleys and pull the belt out. Before putting your new belt on, it's a good idea if you have any tensioning rollers or relay rollers just to give them a spin. Make sure that they do have a little bit of drag on them and they're not making any noise as you rotate them. If they spin really, really fast or have some noise associated with them, it may be time for a new roller. When it comes to putting our new belt on, it's about as straightforward as it gets. We'll start by putting it around our crankshaft pulley. We'll go ahead and tuck it around our tensioner, and then of course around our air conditioner. Next, we're gonna move to the top, put it around the alternator, and then tension it. What I like to do on the top side is grab a hold of the belt and pull it up as far as I can, wrapping it around the alternator. We'll go ahead and take our ratchet. We don't need to pull much tension here, just enough so that we can get our pin out. Pull it towards the front of the vehicle. Remove your pin, slowly let the tension come out. Remove your ratchet, and you have installed the belt. Before we can put everything back together, we need to do an inspection of our belt. We need to put our eyes on every single roller of the circuit and make sure that all the ribs of the belt are on with the ribs of the pulleys. You can see as we go around here, our belt is on properly. Air conditioning side looks really good too. And do the final check on the alternator. Even one rib off on the belt can actually destroy the belt and cause more severe problems. Make sure you put your eyeballs on each one of these rollers before you put the car back together. I have seen professional technicians mess this up. It's really easy to do. If you struggle to see one of the rollers, grab a mirror and use that, but you need to get your eyes on every single roller. All right, so this was a pretty easy DIY and a very simple serpentine belt circuit. What happens if you're working on a more complicated circuit or a DIY where maybe you need some help? The folks at eBay launched this service called Virtual Tech. What you do is you simply add it to your cart while you're purchasing your product like I did with this serpentine belt, or you can even go back and purchase it later. What this does is this gives you access to an ASE certified technician to walk you through the DIY or help you out of a sticky situation. Maybe you didn't take notes on the serpentine belt routing, or you run into an issue on where to add a ground for your fog light kit. You simply add this to the cart, call them up, have the conversation, and they can help you out with the issue. This is a pretty cool thing for the DIYers out there that maybe don't have full confidence in their ability to do this. You have a backup, a new resource that you can use just in case you do get stuck on a problem. It's a pretty neat service. Check it out. I'll put a link down in the description where you can learn more. And it was pretty cool of eBay to reach out to me so I could do this DIY and bring it to you guys. All right, with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. Questions, comments, go down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, give it a share. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you want notifications, ding the bell. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, Snapchat. Again, links to everything we dealt with today, including Virtual Tech, are down in the description. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.